Talk to the Hand Reviews. I'm Beau the Reviews Lady if you've never been here before. If you have been here before, welcome back. Welcome back, and thank you for coming to see me again. And today I'm going to talk about something I think is pretty neat. First off, get your groove on. So, the fragrance I want to talk to you about today, I'm pretty excited about because it's really under reviewed. I really couldn't find much about it anywhere. It is Avon Mesmerize for men. For men, right? But wait! Okay, this is it. It's a really big bottle. 3.4 ounce size. That was our standard large when I used to sell fragrance back in the 80s and 90s. Folks, I love this fragrance. I love this fragrance, and the thing that really stands out about this fragrance, okay, when I first smelled this, I was like, it reminds me of something. And it took me immediately in my brain back to when I worked in men's fragrance, because I did work specifically behind the counter in men's fragrance in a department store, but I also worked behind the counter in women's fragrance in 2 different department stores, and then I also worked for Christian Dior behind the counter at Christian Dior Cosmetics and fragrance behind the counter. But then I also worked as a rotator rep for both Oscar de la Renta fragrances and for Guerlain. So I did have like a wide experience, but I did specifically work in men's fragrances, and this reminds me of something I sold, and I couldn't put my finger on it. But Fragrantica helped me, because when I went to Fragrantica and scrolled down to the bottom to this fragrance reminds me of, the very #1 fragrance that came back was exactly what took me back there, was Zino by Davidoff. So this was in, like, I think it was the it was probably the late 90s that I worked in men's fragrances and was selling this, and I loved that fragrance, and I used to spray it on myself. And the same thing with another fragrance that we sold at the time called Minotaure by Paloma Picasso. They are really similar kinds of fragrances, and that's what this smells like. It smells like exactly, maybe not exactly, but it took my brain and my memory back to when I used to sell men's fragrances. Like, it smells like Zino Davidoff Zino rather. And the thing I want to tell you about that is, I mentioned that I used to spray it on myself because I thought it smelled nice, right? I've said before, the only men's fragrance I've actually really ever worn was Chanel Egoiste Platinum, which I love that. I still felt that it was what we would call now a gender neutral fragrance, or use that outdated term of unisex. And I say outdated because when I worked in men's fragrances actually, at the same time that I remember Zino, I launched CK1. And we went to the seminar, they called them a school, where you'd learn that, the Calvin Klein company, tells you all about the fragrance. They tell you the way they want you to present it. And people would be like, oh yeah, it's unisex. And they'd be like, no, we don't want you to say unisex. No, we don't like that term. We want you to say shared. So Calvin Klein Fragrances wanted us to say shared. They did not want to be represented by the word unisex. So though I don't care, you can call it unisex if you want, but I have that, oh well, I don't really want to call it that, I feel like calling them gender neutral or shared is probably appropriate, and unisex, whatever you want, it's fine, but I'm just telling you my perspective. And so I remember selling this, and the thing I want to tell you, selling Zino Davidoff, and what I want to tell you about this fragrance that is my takeaway from this, I will share with you at the end. But, so, okay, 65 people felt it was like Davidoff Zino rather. 13 people felt it was like UDV Ulric de Varens. 9 people felt it was like Connexion from Eau Boticario. 5 people felt it was like Beau de Jour Eau de Parfum from Tom Ford. And 2 people felt it was like Paloma Picasso Minotaure. And I wanted to make sure to share with you also that Paloma Picasso Minotaure, because I remember that and I agree, even though it wasn't at the top like the Zino was. And let's see. Okay, so this fragrance, Avon Mesmerize for Men, came out in 1992. It's considered a citrus aromatic, and there was no nose given for it. The top notes are bergamot, mandarin orange, and apple. The middle notes are myrrh, exotic spices, and herbal notes. And the base is amber and woodsy notes. So, there you have it, basically, about this fragrance. It is an Avon fragrance. And so, okay, the thing I want to share with you that stands out about this. Okay. If this came out today, I guarantee you they would market it as a shared or gender neutral or unisex, whatever you want to call it, fragrance. I guarantee it, because it has this real, well, okay, people nowadays are not necessarily satisfied with the kinds of fragrances I used to sell back in the 80s and 90s. It was a lot more women's fragrances did not smell like this back then very often. But now a lot of them do. I think because people are looking for something different. A lot of women don't necessarily just want to wear a floral fragrance. They want something that smells more, has more depth and more warmth, and maybe does have some of those masculine notes. So I feel like, okay, I got this and my husband likes it too, but I sort of feel like I'm gonna be taking it over because it appeals to me. It appeals to me for a man, but it also appeals to me for a woman. So I think if you're a woman and you like to wear unusual fragrances, but that kind of smell like your unisex or shared or gender neutral fragrances of today, I think this is one that you should check out. And Avon fragrances, you know, they're more affordable than a lot of the stuff that's out there nowadays. I want to point out Avon is now 100% cruelty free. So, you know, I mean, I'm pretty excited about a lot of Avon stuff that I've discovered recently, and I have an Avon link down below. Yes, I get a commission if you buy it. Do I really care ultimately? No, I don't make that much. I mean, you know, I've never made anything from Avon yet, but I like what Avon does, and I'm excited to start talking about more of their products because of the cruelty-free aspect, because of the fact that it's nostalgic, it's been around for a long time, and I think it really gets a bad rap. And people kind of don't want to touch it because they feel like it's some creepy multi-level marketing or something like that. And I mean, I'm not forced to do multi-level. All I'm doing is, and I wouldn't even tell you that I'm, you know, that you can buy Avon from me, except that Avon says that if you're talking about their products and you're an Avon, you're signed up to be an Avon rep, even if you're not really selling. I'm not selling. I'm not. You know, I'm just showing it to people, offering you the option. But Avon says you have to divulge, which is, I mean, don't you think that that's pretty ethical of them to say you have to divulge it? I do. I mean, because, like, you know, you don't know. People are always promoting fragrances and then saying, well, you can go buy this on Amazon and I get a commission. How is Avon different? It's not, except you're not dealing with Amazon. So I really like this fragrance. And I think if you're a man, you will like it. I think, well, who am I to say? I don't know your tastes. But what I mean is, this is a man's fragrance that smells great on a man. It's warm. It's got a bit of sweet. It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. Ah, oh, it's so nice. So yeah, my husband and I are both wearing this one. So Avon Mesmerize. There's another Avon Mesmerize. Mesmerize Black. So I have not tried that one, but if I do, I will report it. I'll report to you about it. And I'm just gonna say thanks very much, And I hope to see you next time. And bye for now. Let's bust a move to this.
Peace.